Ellen, I'm sort of struck by the fact that earlier today, both you and I were in a high school classroom, and now we're in front of this crowd. It's sort of a disconcerting kind of realization, but I point that out to the group because if anybody feels the need over the next 4 or 5 minutes to get up and go to the restroom, please raise your hand and ask Mrs. Port for permission to leave the room. Ellen, Ron has sort of alluded to it in that opening. Your path, your career, started very differently than most of the great athletes here. And I'm hoping you'll remember this story because we had this conversation 20 years ago. But we could literally say that 5 national championships started with a date that took you to Tower T back in the mid-'80s. Tell that story.
And Ted Drews, you got to throw Ted Drews when you're by Tower T. Well, I came to St. Louis and didn't know much about golf. My dad introduced me to the game, but I kind of thought it was a stupid game because I wasn't very good at it. I was really good at other sports, and it was hard to get that ball in the air. But I came to St. Louis and had a date with a guy named Andy Port, and he was a golfer, and we went to the range and hit balls, and he was kind of like, you know, you could be pretty good at this if you put your mind to it. And so it's kind of neat. Most of you wives are, you know, your husbands leave to go play golf and you don't see them for a few hours, and that might be good. But Andy and I play all of our golf together, and that's what makes it really special.
And then Andy said I should ask you the question. The first competition for you was in the Ladies' League at Bonfire. And my memory is the first hole at Bonfire was sort of a downhill, uphill par 4, out of bounds to the right. Talk about what you felt like on that first tee in your first competition.
Well, I think 2 balls went out of bounds, so that's all I really want to talk about. So you just go find it and hit it again.
In the middle of your career, you used to make the trip down to Texas to work with Hank Haney on your game. And you were winning national championships before some guy named Woods hooked up with Haney. The natural question is, given the success of the Woods book, is a tell-all Port book from Haney in the works?
Oh, no, no, no. Brian Fote, my teacher, now, he could probably write a lot of stories, but Brian, I might fire you after seeing Mr. Hannafin. I think I want him to coach me. He fired me up. I don't know if that Tom O'Toole would like that kind of coach on the golf course, but you know, when I look at my life, it's amazing. It's crazy that I've had the success that I've had. I've been so blessed, and it's been sprinkled with people along my path. You know, from Phil Hewitt at Westboro to Terry Hauser, to crazy Jerry Waytulovich, who some of you know, who's the Ping rep, who said, Ellen, go down and see Hank Haney. And at that time, I didn't know who Hank was, and I learned a lot from Hank, and then Brian Fote was sitting there waiting to really take me to the next place, and it's so neat to be 50 years old and still be able to play with 18-year-olds and to play with 70-year-olds, and that's why golf is such a great game, and I've been very, very blessed.
And again, going back to the video, Ron alluded to it. You're a wife, you're a mother, you're a teacher, you're a coach, and you're actively involved in your church. And yet I know from talking to you, those aspects of your life take priority over this magnificent golf career. And I think it would be interesting for people to hear, on an average year, if you throw out the competitive rounds that you played, how much golf does Ellen Port play on an average year?
Well, I played 3 or 4 tournaments usually a year, and I think that's been one of the things that it's so unique about my career, is that I don't think there'll be anybody, it's kind of the good old days. You know, I don't know if there'll ever be anybody who starts at 25 years old and still gets to play on a United States Curtis Cup team these days with kids specializing. I was just really, really fortunate to be able to juggle a lot of balls, and I won't lie, there are some days when I'm like dragging, I'm going, oh, is this worth it? You know, but if I couldn't do it, if I didn't have the support from my school and Skippy Kiefer, who hired me, I didn't even play golf when I went to Burroughs, and the support they've given me, my family, it's been a team effort. Golf is an individual sport, but the generosity of people in my life has been overwhelming.
But between those tournament rounds, no more than maybe 20 recreational rounds in a year?
Probably. You know, we go out and play 4 or 5 holes here and there, and we don't take the flags out, and we race around. So I play enough. I play enough.
A 5-time national championship at this point in her career, Hall of Famer Ellen Port.
Thank you.